even looking at the different aspects of cheerleading, because a lot of people think, about, okay, what is cheerleading? Why is this actually working? Why is this certain fitness? Why is this coming into a certain fitness style for adults, so to say? And it's an aspect of, okay, well, if you take aspects of dance, cheerleading has a little bit of that. If you take aspects of gymnastics, cheerleading has a little bit of that. If you take aspects of Zumba, cheerleading has a little bit of that. And any sort of a HIIT program. It's kind of like a mixture of everything balled together. And lifting as well. You can add that to it. So it's kind of like, I think that people don't really understand like what exactly cheerleading is. They think it's, wave your pom-poms around, but there's no side of like physical association with it.
If they say just wave your pom-poms around, you tell them like, listen, you don't understand. This is the MMA of fitness. Okay? We do it all.
Hello and welcome. I am Coach Castle, a certified biomechanics expert, nutritionalist, and efficiency coach. Subscribe to this channel to learn the most efficient ways to maximize your muscle growth and recovery, enhance your body, and advance your mind, all using the latest science. Welcome to Castle's Corner.
Exactly. And that's what I think is so cool about it. And that's what I really want to show with women is because of this like new aspect of fitness. Like that's what's fun. That's what's exciting. And even in my program too, to be able to showcase, okay, it's not just one thing that we're going to stick to. You never know when you're going into cheerleading. A lot of times you don't stick to the same sort of workout day in and day out. And I know a lot of fitness trainers do this, right? They say, okay, you're going to already get into this program and like, this is what you're going to do for a month straight. And that's where like people tend to fall off because, oh man, I already know what I'm getting into. Whereas with cheerleading, you're always practicing like a new skill, whether it's a dance movement, whether it's, a fun sort of ab exercise, whether it's just like moving yourself in a challenging way, like doing the aspects of a cartwheel. That's like really fun that you never thought you would be able to do again, or like a little kid. That's where people get excited about it and they want to see change because they're seeing their bodies change and creating this consistency in their wants. Like that's where they're going to go through an awesome program and see those results.
Now, is it just out of curiosity, is it safe to say that you probably get a lot of very open-minded and creative people attending the Cheer Bod things, like people who are probably artists or into music and things like that? Or is it still like other kind of people?
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit of both. It's someone that has honestly like tried a lot of different activities. They're like, yeah, I've gone to the gym and I just drop off, or yeah, I've been doing this and I like nothing's worked. Like, I just want to try something new. I just want to try something fun. So the aspect of fun is like really intriguing to them because they're like, oh, well, I know the gym isn't fun. Oh, well, I know, like my swimming class that I went to when I was 14 wasn't fun. Like all these different open-minded people, I think you hit the nail on the head. Also people that have been cheerleaders or dancers or gymnasts in the past too, because they kind of understand what cheerleading is. And it takes a minute to actually explain the competitive and physical aspect of cheerleading, to be able to allow people to understand it, so to say, because it is kind of a difficult thing to explain when society and media has skewed cheerleading in a negative connotation with just moving your pom-poms. Another interesting aspect too is like NFL cheerleaders, right? A lot of people know the aspect of like, oh, when you go to a football game, you see the cheerleaders that are cheering on the side. Just for clarification purposes, they call themselves cheerleaders, but what they're practicing is really dance. Like they're practicing dance movements. So it's not the same thing as cheerleading. And so to be able to allow people to understand what cheerleading actually is something that needs to be changed. And that I am personally working on as I tell women about the Cheer Bod challenge.
I really like it. Like I said, I like it. I didn't know that much about cheerleading. I think I mentioned this to you. I didn't know that much about it. I've never had a client. I had clients who used to be cheerleaders, but I didn't have any, who wanted to become one. They came to see me for that. That's not really what I do. But the more I looked into it, the more I was like, oh, this is actually, well, for me, it's very interesting for a number of reasons. I mean, I'm a biomechanics specialist, so because of that, one of the things I love is anatomy and physics and how these things work. But the thing, I was watching some cheerleading videos, and I love that you have such body awareness and also awareness of like calculating momentum. That is very interesting to me, how you guys have intuitively developed the ability to calculate necessary momentum and then exert the power afterwards or beforehand to make the perfect timing. And that's fascinating to me. I mean, it's the same kind of thing with jujitsu videos. I like watching the jujitsu videos and calculating the bones and the joints and the leverages they're applying. It's quite interesting to me. But
Yeah.
how do you go about training your girls to have that kind of body awareness, or is it just the practice over time that leads to the intuitive grasp of necessary momentum, or is there training that goes into that?
Yeah, that is a great question. And I feel like it's something I really haven't talked about, but you just pointed out. So I'm so excited actually to talk about this. But thinking back on my own experience and me going through the past 12 years of my cheerleading teams, a lot of times we had to pace ourselves over time in order to do a routine to execute it as great as we possibly could, which means, you know, you're going hard for 2 minutes and 30 seconds to be able to perform a cheerleading routine. And we practice it, you know, really hard for 28 minutes in order to make it perfect. So when we go out and execute at a competition. Now, when I was growing up, we were doing a lot of different routines. Maybe it would start out with like a dance move and then some sort of flipping or some sort of core movement or some sort of stunt. And through that, you have, you know, a high intensity skill, and then it drops low to like a dance movement. And then in between that, you really are supposed to breathe. And during those lower points, like your coaches would yell at you, breathe. And so you knew automatically at that point in time, okay, it's time for me to breathe, take another breath in order to go back up at that high point and execute to your full potential. So all throughout a routine, there are these highs and lows in order to make sure you breathe and pace yourself to execute the performance perfectly. Now, that's what I do similarly in my Cheer Bod program is we do a higher intensity skill, and then it goes back down to maybe an easier dance movement where you can catch your breath. And then it goes up to like another skill, and then you have that other movement. Now it's still this 20-minute period of movement and you're getting in a good workout, but it's how you're using your energy really over time that makes it doable. And so you're not fully exhausted at the end of it and being like, oh my God, like I can't go and do another one for like 3 days. No, you always feel like you can come back, bounce right back the next day and be like, okay, that was fun. Let's do it again. So I feel like pacing this momentum and this energy is something I really haven't talked about, but I'd say that is the main aspect in the Cheer Bod challenge as well.